Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. I'm just going to start out by grabbing the links here again. I think that works better because otherwise I'm going on before everybody comes in and I have to say everything 20 times. So we're just going to come in here and grab the link really quickly. Here we go. Paste that one, and then we will post the Twitch one. And good. Okay, so we are currently at the low of the overnight session. I guess we just opened up. Not a ton of volume coming through. I'm going to show you here on the 30-minute chart because basically what we got going on here, we're still in a pretty big range here.
Digital Shot said good morning.
And we've been here for quite some time, by the way. Like, what, a month and a half now? Almost 2 months. But yesterday we had a pretty big move up yesterday after the CPI news and the news that the Secretary of State was fired, basically. It came back pretty quickly here, as you can see. We made money off of this. They attempted to push lower several times, but couldn't do it and are going higher. In the overnight session, they tested higher, didn't quite get to that high, and now we're back to where we were, essentially. Pretty much like what the yesterday's VWAP is. So I am expecting that we will test. Well, I think that we're going to start pretty close. Here, yeah, 110. 110 was yesterday's point of control. I think there's a high probability of making a move up and testing yesterday's high. Here in the E-mini, E-mini didn't like the story, but it's just kind of sitting here, so can't read too much into that, especially since they didn't retrace the single prints down here. So there are some targets below us that the E-mini could take that could push us up as well. But again, I wouldn't read too much into it. We do have some news today, don't we? So today is PPI. Yes, it is. So we got PPI news in 30 minutes. I think is going to be pretty important. End core retail sales. Crude oil inventories. I think we are also still having auctions today. Let's see. Treasury direct.gov. Upcoming auctions. Today is the 14th. I guess not. Nothing scheduled. Okay. Well, there was a German one. What did they get? 1.2. The bid to cover ratio wasn't quite as high. Okay, so we'll mark that down. Okay, and then cryptocurrencies here. Okay, well, we did make a lower low overnight in cryptocurrencies here on the 5-minute chart. Oh, no, wait. We don't want the 5-minute chart. We want the 6-minute chart. Okay. So they didn't quite break the lows, but they are moving lower. And we continue to see the volatility. I mean, we haven't had a volatility like this Since really, like this, maybe this is comparable, but I don't know. This is certainly comparable. Anyways, they're not pushing it lower. I'm still kind of thinking that maybe yeah. Oh, so we're looking at Bitcoin Cash. That's another important thing. Ethereum has not been doing as well. Yeah, Ethereum looks like it wants to go. And Bitcoin itself, I'm uncertain. And the futures aren't really saying anything too big other than that we look like really oversold here. So yeah, I really want to see a test up in Treasuries. That's what I'm going to be waiting for. But we have news in 5 minutes, so we're not going to touch anything. So go ahead and put your questions in chat. It's preferable if you post it on YouTube. I'm going to mute the microphone here and eat a little bit.
Soylent said good morning boss.
No. Do not call me boss. I am nobody's boss. We are all just individuals here playing the same game here, working together. There's no boss or anything like that. I am just the moderator. That is all. They're running into a bit of resistance here, aren't they? Some big prints. And they just stepped up 2 steps there. Why is my yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this. What is with this? Why does ZF keep failing to load. Hmm? There we go. Okay, so here's the news. Oh dear, I don't have the number yet. Okay, core retail sales month over month 0.2 versus 0.04. PPI month over month 0.2 versus 0.1. Retail sales negative 0.1 versus 0.3. Core PPI 0.2 versus 0.2. Ooh, this is a hard one, and I'm seeing volume both ways. I'm gonna guess that the E-mini's not gonna like this. Let's see what they do here. Bad retail sales is not good. Yep, the Secretary of State was fired on Twitter. The president was so eager to fire Tillerson that he wanted to do so in a tweet on Friday, but Kelly persuaded Trump to wait until his Secretary of State was back in the United States from Africa. Two people familiar with the conversation said it was Tillerson's first trip since Trump disparaged parts on the continent as shithole countries. So I had this super long, drawn-out argument with people yesterday on Reddit about because they claimed that he was sacked because he spoke out against Russia, which I think is preposterous. We might take along here. I think it's preposterous because when they picked him, they said that they picked him because he was friendly to Russia, and now we're saying that they fired him because he was unfriendly, because he's not actually friendly to Russia. And, you know, he made those comments like Monday, and this decision was made on Friday. So obviously that storyline, and there was a lot of stories out, and the Washington Post had a storyline, an opinion column that said
should have a negative impact. I've read expectations were much better, on the end side.
Yeah. I think here, let's see. That's my prediction. ES will go down and ZN will go up. But I'm going to wait for the view up. Anyways, there was like this coordinated push to push this storyline, and of course it was complete bullcrap. Complete bullcrap. So there's that. There's also a curious lack of interest in the special election last night. Super, super close. Democrat has declared victory, but it's only by 700 votes, and there will almost certainly be a recount. I'm seeing reports of all sorts of shenanigans. I think that this one's going to be litigated pretty extensively.
IQ set GM. Alligator said ES doesn't care. Alligator said why? Alligator said not sure, seems convincing, probably they want to test VWAP.
Okay, I clicked in. So this is a little bit of an unusual trade for me because, it hasn't gone through yet. Maybe that was bad positioning, but I'm fairly confident that they're going to push through here. And as it ticks down, I say this as it ticks down. Okay. So the bid is still kind of putting pressure on. But this offer here in ZF is a bit much. Hmm. That's some sort of buying program there. They were buying it, and then the algorithm said, okay, they're not getting out of the way, and they stopped. Okay, well that bid is stepping up even though it's, not the 2000. Okay, so they took it. So that's a pretty big collision right there. Yep, you see it. There you see it right there is a bubble. I think that this guy might have taken some profits because now there's only 3,000 there on the bid. Or sorry, on the offer. We tick down, they put it back on. So it was 5. We ticked down, we ticked back up. It was 3, 3.5. We ticked down, we ticked back up. It's 4. That's some shenanigans. I think somebody holding price, perhaps.
Alligator said several levels stop ZF there, close, WAP, pivot. Hard to break, IMO ZF 025 035 level to monitor for a push up or rev.
Okay, so I think that's Alligator gently warning us that it might flip on us here. That 125 is a point of control, so... Oof. Okay, so ticked down, but did not... level 2 did not flip. Okay. Okay, so that's our signal that this isn't working.
IQ said zfi.imager.com.
Okay, well, there's an iceberg at 10.5, so we're just gonna have to take the -3. I was right that they pushed through it, but they didn't initiate after that, so... Okay. And so I think that that exit was correct.
IQ said 010 equals sup in ZF. Will it hold? Time will tell. Soylent said what's the second indicator below Seth? Alligator said seems the focus is on services costs up, sign of inflation.
Okay, so let's pull up Chrome here and see if we see anything on Twitter. Zero Hedge says retail sales drop second straight month as spending on hookers, drugs, and booze tumble. So maybe we misunderstood the news a little bit, but it sounds like what we're seeing is no wage growth, increasing prices, people not buying things because they think they're too expensive. But E-mini not reacting to it. Well, I think that they're pretty likely to break the low of the day now.
Alligator said THX.
Yeah, there it went right there. Okay. So there's a bit of a pivot. More troubling, on an adjusted basis, the final demand index increased 2.8% for the 12 months ended in February, clearly suggesting that input costs are starting to impact businesses who are unable to pass on rising prices to consumers and instead are forced to shrink their profit margins as a result. So basically, we're getting inflation, but we're not getting wage inflation. And the one that suffers is the businesses because they can't increase prices. People won't buy them. Hmm. So this story from the Washington Post about the firing from Tillerson makes it sound like it had more to do with a Donald Trump just really was really excited to make the change than it was that he was trying to humiliate Tillerson. And he did the tweet, and then afterwards it seems like he did kind of realize what was going on. And so he gave him a call, and he was super nice during the call. Really bizarre. So see, they couldn't even really touch that at '09, which was the previous low. Oh no, sorry, '08 half was the previous low.
Alligator said ZF support 0 then 310 very close, fast move down, probably a bounce, maybe a lot, range is wide, or if it breaks down, trend day, not my scenario.
Yeah. If it's a trend day, I mean, Oh, I didn't even see you guys there in chat, sorry. I think everything is revolving around the Fed rate hike news next week. Slightly bad news is now bullish because it's less chance for rate hikes. Yeah, I agree with that. And hello, Marius. So somebody's asking how much Bitcoin will be before the end of the year. I have no clue. the ETH broke the going down trend and is now going sideways. Do you think it may go lower, having in consideration the fact that it has some support at over 600? Yeah, so we're talking Bitcoins here, kind of changing gears for a second. My analysis is still okay, so there was a tick up. Pretty much the same as it was. So let's change gears here for a second since we know what this is. Not something we want to touch at the moment. So what I see is lots of volatility, basically. Possibly a low point here, but I can't really say. But I'm not sure if this is what you guys were referring to, but Ethereum looks really weak for some reason. Compared to everything else, Ethereum looks really weak. And when you look at the chart, it's something's happening to it. Like it. Well, I just show you. Something weird is going on in Ethereum. Okay. Where is it? I guess we should just run today's script, huh? Okay, today's number is 88 for Bitcoin, by the way. Excuse me. Okay, 14th. Oops, not ETC, we want ETH. Okay. So look at what's going on in Ethereum. Ethereum has been, ever since we've ever started looking at this, crazy undervalued. Okay. Even especially when we were like right here. Okay. And now what's happening? It's just having a run here. Now, when we've seen this before, so we've seen this twice before. Okay. So here's one time. And what happened? Okay. So at this time, like transaction volume was really dramatically increasing and we're getting all these things, okay? Now, there was this other one here, and that was actually, it came off of that one. So I think it was signaling that it was going to come up, but it very quickly outdid itself and failed. Of course, there was a low very soon thereafter, so it seems to me that this move right here is going to have to do with transaction value. So transaction value being transacted on the Ethereum blockchain is decreasing. So this is basically like CryptoKitties isn't as popular anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so it seems like that's why Ethereum is looking really weak. And then you add on top of that the hacking news and things like that have been going on. Ethereum doesn't look as attractive to people. And you kind of have to wonder, because when you look at ETC, and granted, ETC has the same problems in terms of like hacking and so forth, but they had a fork and moved it up, and we've almost completely given that back. So, and I don't think that story is over. So, I don't know. Maybe Ethereum Classic is a really good buy here. But I don't know enough about what's going on to say that. Just that the indicator says that it's in a pretty good spot to buy it. And then here on Bitcoin Cash, it's even more interesting. Because in Bitcoin, come on, show me there we go. There we go. Okay. I mean, look at this. It's the indicator is now the highest it's ever been. So is Bitcoin Cash getting ready to pump big time or something? I don't know. And here you see this has got kind of a head and shoulders that played out. So does this head and shoulders head test move higher? I don't know. It seems kind of weird. The Bitcoin market is doing weird stuff. Everybody agrees Ethereum is undervalued, but why does it keep going down? Yep. Updates might just do it. Yeah, if we get some updates, then I think that they could get a good run. Okay, well, that was a decent move back.
IQ said ZF did its dance, now ready to trot up.
I still think it seems to me at the moment that people are a little bit too bearish on Bitcoin, especially on a short-term basis. All I've heard.
Tucker said, anybody catch the bounce?
All I've heard, especially here in chat from you guys, is, oh, what does my chart say about Litecoin? Let's talk about that first. What does it say about Litecoin? Not good. Do you see that? So every time that we get to these peaks, it's a profit-taking opportunity. Here, 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 here. And what happened? We stayed overbought despite this huge move down here in Litecoin. So I personally don't want anything to do with it right now. It does not appear to be in a safe buy location. Seems to me that up here it should have taken profits. Personally, if I had been in Litecoin and I had gotten that, I would have gotten out. So, yeah. Anyways, do you see Bitcoin to 5,500 anytime soon? So what he's referring to, I think, is that when we calculated it out yesterday, if my indicator was reading 50, which would be like the buy location, we would be down at like 5,500. But the thing that I'm seeing here is that it just seems like everybody is uh, overly bearish on Bitcoin on the short term right now. So I don't know. Well, pretty much all week I've been seeing a lot of comments, people talking about how low Bitcoin is going to get this year, and things look pretty bad. And the charts have definitely looked pretty bad for at times, and yet we didn't break again. We've entered into this extended period of sideways action. So a lot of conflicting signals. I really don't know what it's going to do. I think Bitcoin too, as one person in here was saying a little bit earlier. 1,000? That's a little much. It would take a very, very long time for Bitcoin to get to 1,000. My YouTube not showing me correct numbers because I see like 5 people talking. Oh yes, it is. I refresh it and I was like, it was only showing me 2 people online, and I'm like, I'm talking to like 5 guys here. Beach Bum thinks that 120.09.5 is a good short on a risk reward basis. Well, I don't know. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks, and then here, if we got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because that's the single print, and then maybe it goes further. I don't know. So I don't think we will see 2 tick stop. Okay. For me, with that, given what my targets would be, I think I would want a better probability if I'm going to take that trade. If we want to go short though, 9.5 is the place to do it, right? Yeah. 11K is absorbed there. Yeah, you can't see it on mine because it's ticked down and back up several times, but you can see it here on the cumulative delta. I can't on my system. I can't take it here.
Tucker said, I think those 0.95s will get blown through as we domino back up.
Okay, so already seeing a couple of different people taking it different directions. It seems to me, so the thing that concerns me about that trade is that we pushed through a higher high in cumulative delta. You see how we aren't even nearly as high. When we were up there, we were at 125, and yet all of the volume here has been buying. What's with that?
Digital Shot said, yeah, got a tick from 90 to 95. But very slow pace at the moment, going to wait for some speed.
So when I see divergences like this in cumulative delta, we got to be careful. I think we slow grind down with choppy movement. And Zencam says there's no momentum on either direction. Yeah, I have to say, this does not feel like a trend day to me for sure. But the problem is that the single print is 05. So we could get to 05 and still be like relatively range bound day. You have to get under 06 to get those long stops. Yeah, I guarantee you that defense is going to start getting played at 050, and then we see what happens. if they start pushing below 050, I don't know. Below that, it gets a little messy below that. So if we get to 06 and you start seeing stops, that could be a thing. But yeah, we would have to see some big moves in cumulative delta. And by the time that happens, then maybe we would be able to take a trade. Or I would be able to take a trade. Obviously, you guys have different rules, and some of you have already taken a position. 09.5 held pretty well. It was a good pick in terms of positioning. Oh yeah, on the Bitcoin thing, I want to point out again that Bitcoin is dramatically oversold here. So consider that we had this low down here at like what 8,400, and now we're at 8,640, and it's already too much. Of course, it could come back to the view up and push lower, but I've never really seen that one before. That's in fact one of the most oversold moves we've ever had. Okay. Hey, Def Pluto. Joining us a little bit earlier today. Now there is no way I lose. Right, because you're going to take the break even at the very least. And another thing probably important to point out is that the E-mini does open in 10 minutes. So we might not get a huge move until that happens.
Tucker said in other news, Happy Pi Day folks.
Is it Pi Day? It's always some day, isn't it? I'll tell you what, I will go and find the calendar for like International whatever day, and we'll do a little talk about whatever that the day is.
Tucker said 3 to 14.
And somebody on Twitter pointing out in ZB, 4 contracts traded into yesterday's pit high, and then it was smooth sailing down. You can't say there was no opportunity this morning. I'd say this move from here down, a good 7 ticks, 8 ticks. Yeah, it was a good opportunity. That might be the only opportunity it gives us, though. Let's see. When I see a divergence like this, you can't necessarily predict which way it's going to go. That's the whole thing. If we had moved down, and this had moved down, and this had made a new low, and then ever since then the volume had been flat, even though we had come up, that's usually a really good sign that they're going to keep pushing. Because essentially what happened was some big players got short, came down, an equal amount of buyers and profit takers, sellers and profit taking buyers exchanged hands, and then they start pushing it down. There's a whole nother set of people to get stopped out, and there's some big fish there pushing it along that still have their positions. With this one, what we're seeing is we came down, and now we are higher in cumulative deltas. So how could that? So we have buyers. There could be 2 types of buyers here, right? One could be profit takers, and one could be people initiating new positions. So why, since we've broken the low, has there been more buyers?
Why do you say BTC is so oversold? Alligator said, looks strange this action. Absorption ZN 095 ZF 010 and now 002 plus 005. Not your typical pullback, maybe because ES opens soon to know.
So one potential answer is that the curve, for whatever reason, has steepened a little bit today. Well, no, that doesn't make sense, because if it's steepening, that means you're going to buy ZF and sell ZN. So that may be an indication that they're flattening back out, that they're selling the 5-year and they're buying the 10-year, and it's flattening back out. So that's one possibility. Another possibility is that there's just a lot of traders, maybe some traders from way back earlier in the session, that have taken profits. And another possibility is that there's just a bunch of people that think this is a buying opportunity. Now, if there's a bunch of people that think that this is a buying opportunity, that does not necessarily mean that it's going to go up. That just means that if we go and break a new low, there's a lot of people to stop out, right? So that's why I think when you see this particular divergence, you got to be careful. So how is it Beach Bum feeling now that we're basically back to the 090? I hate the choppy erratic days. Yeah, crypto has gone unlogical now, hasn't it? So somebody just asked, sorry, who was it? Soylent. Why do I say Bitcoin is so oversold? So what we see here, this is the volume weighted average price on the futures, and each one of these bands is a standard deviation away from the volume weighted average price. So when it crosses this bottom line, that means that price is 3 standard deviations away from the average price. Okay? 3 standard deviations away means that this is something that only happens like 1 to 5% of the time. So is that a strong sell move? Yeah, pretty strong. I've only seen it do this in Bitcoin on some of the worst days, you know? Like when we hit the low of the year, it was doing this, okay? But it did this and it didn't break a new low. So I'd have to say it's oversold. Even though on a longer term basis, we are really overbought. Conflicting signals, yeah. Yeah, so there's a big iceberg here at 09 halves. And not only are we trading 5K here, but then there's this big 10. Yeah, so Beach Bum says, well, it was kind of expected. I thought it would be a slow, erratic, choppy day to the downside. Be careful. Yes. Okay, so the E-mini is about to open up here, so let's pull up that.
Digital Shot said yeah. UB also almost in the middle of the range. Maybe best to wait for a move and then go from there.
Over 18K is absorbed at 9.5, yeah. Not only that, but there's this huge 6K order that's just above us, and it's only just now showed up. Okay, so the E-mini, the first move was down, didn't get very far. Okay, so there the E-mini broke the high of its range and all of the treasuries ticked down. So we're definitely seeing an inverse correlation at the moment.
Digital Shot said there is some volume being built here. But it was built in a pretty slow pace, not very easy to trade IMO.
Is there a percentage of a deviation point indication of a crash? No, because with the VWAP, a VWAP is much more useful as a day trading indicator because what you're going to see is it's going to go.
Soylent said it does hit 3 STD often during aggressive down expansion.
The VWAP is basically the mean revision point. So if we have a huge move down, we're going to retrace until we get to the VWAP, and then you could potentially bounce off the VWAP and move lower. So it doesn't necessarily indicate a crash per se. I think if you're looking for an indicator that's like that, you'd have to look more at like RSI or
Soylent
something like
said
that.
the VWAP bands were very tight yesterday, so now we need to expand.
Okay, so now 09 half went bid, and E-mini broke the low of its range. So here they're going to make another attempt. If they push back to 27.76, that's the overnight VWAP for the E-mini. What you gonna do?
IQ said ZF still sitting at 0.10.
Okay, so there it went. This might be a spot that Tyler might step up. By the way, this is the area where we've seen him a lot, by the way, around here, so we would not be surprised to see him buy that 5K at 10. Okay.
Digital Shot said long 95 could be nice.
Quite a bit is pulled here. Yep.
Alligator said trying to rev and trap. Digital Shot said well that was too late.
Okay, so now that this is moving higher and we're seeing ZF coming in, I think I might wait for the view up, but we could take a long here. And the target here would have to be yesterday's high at like 17. So there's enough in it. Could be worth it. I'm a little gonna hold off here until 115 though, because the E-mini is still like right at the view up. Yep, he already scratched it. Good job. Good job, Beach Bum. You scratched it. Okay. So now they're below the VWAP on the E-mini. Did we get a block buy when we pushed through there? Well, I don't think we actually did. Just lots of big orders.
Alligator said better to go with whales absorbing target 160 ZN if WAP crossed.
Okay, so this is a trade where you could probably get filled on both sides. A 10 half and 10. And since the direction is clearly up, we can take the one. We buy it first. Okay, they filled us. Okay. So here's where if there's any iceberging right here, we can get the 1. I'm not sure if I'll actually take it though. I might just let it ride a little bit.
IQ said nice rune up in ZB and ZF.
Yep. And significant flattening as well. The E-mini's still kind of trending lower a little bit. Good deal. So that's why I didn't just stick my order in there, because I thought that maybe they would take it all at once. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the E-mini could go quite a bit lower here. I mean, the low of the overnight session was 27.62. And, yesterday was a down day. I don't know. I think they're going to have to come down and at least test this pivot, 27.70. Okay. Okay. All right, I think we should take it if we can get it. because they're reacting way too strongly to a minor pivot in E-mini. Nobody's selling it, but when it, I think it was right here, they kind of bought through it a couple of times and then they immediately pushed back and put more on it. That was the exit signal, and I just kind of ignored it. Okay. So we might be seeing a VWAP bounce here on the ES. It's a little curious that we had such a strong order flow moving up and then they didn't really push through. Okay. So there you go, there's the two. If I had left it on, I still might not be filled yet, so I'm okay with it taking one tick because I remember I said, oh, this is a spot where I can take one tick, so I might as well take this one. So it worked out. Okay. Russia's very unhappy with UK expulsions.
IQ said medium.com.
Okay, so that last tick up did not seem to be correlated to anything going on in the E-mini. Okay. So that time we ticked
Alligator
up.
said at Seth Imo it's only a pullback, should go.
Yeah. When that 5K stepped up there. That was a pretty good signal. I have had that one fail on me before. So to reiterate, the trade that we're talking about was we ticked up through the VWAP, and as soon as we did, there was 5K on the bid, and so I hit the offer. There was 5K sitting on the offer, and you can see they just cut right through it, and now there's 3K on the bid, 2 ticks higher. So I have seen that happen before, where like the bid all of a sudden just steps up and it doesn't go, and then they pull it and you get stuck. But when that happens, you lose a tick or two. Oh well. It seems to me like that particular signal. And I mean, we see this all the time when we tick up and there's a lot on the bid, but when it's that much, when it's like a 5K, doesn't happen very often, and it seems like it's a very good risk reward and a very, very good probability. So I think we should see the overnight high now. Okay, well, they sold 3K there. Very curious though that earlier we were so tied to what the E-mini was doing, and when the E-mini pushes down, we're still moving up, but we're moving
IQ
up
said
without the
13
E-mini
T
too.
upswing in ZF last swing was 10 T.
So I think what the treasuries are saying is you should short the E-mini, but I could be wrong. And that's not my specialty, so. Okay, so now ZF has not. Wait, 032 was the pivot where it bounced off the VWAP in ZF. But look at the volume is more than this, what we thought
IQ
was a
said
big move down.
iMager.com.
At the time, this was a pretty big thing, wasn't it? So I'd have to say that we have a tendency to go up. I wouldn't short 13. Beach Bum thinks that he wants to go short at 13. Okay, well they did take us right there at 12. E-mini is sitting right
Digital
at the
Shot
VWAP.
said yeah, we could see volume trade at this level a bit.
So when you catch the edge like you did at 12.5, at what point do you scratch it? But do you scratch it when it gets lower? Like right now? Well, it flipped and then it flipped again. Well, we'll talk about shenanigans. Because I usually will wait for when the edge is about to leave again to get it out. But sometimes it'll touch it and go through it many times and I don't. And I just keep on and I'm usually okay, so... Hmm. No, this one I would probably take a -1 on because it's been going through so much. Or you'd be willing to take a -1. I see what you're saying. I see. So if he started to see things trade into 13 and the offer drops away, then I would take the loss. So I'm a little curious. ZF, or sorry, the 30-year, the ZB, had a pretty good move up there, and they touched a high. But there was lots of profit taking after it did so.
IQ said why the long in ZN?
So I went long in ZN because when we traded up from 110 to 115, 5K showed up on the bid at 115, and so I hit into 120 there. That was my signal long. And since it's, right above the VWAP, that's okay to take. So I didn't like that downtick there.
IQ said ZB/F showing sign of top.
I'm not so sure. What we're seeing happening right here.
Digital Shot said consider that UB and ZB went to their tops.
Yeah. What we're seeing right here looks like a lot of robot shenanigans at the VWAP. So you notice how quickly they're pulling and ticking and so forth. Like we've seen two contracts go into 120, and you could see that 3600 pull and tick up all of a sudden. And I don't see what's triggering it or where it's coming from. So it just looks like
Digital Shot said asterisk there.
Yeah, but the thing that I think is interesting is that we had so much, and I mean really that a lot of buy volume come in there in ZF and really stop out those shorts. But we actually are one tick lower than the last pivot. So if I was a long in ZF, if I was a big fish in ZF, I would be sitting there thinking, hey, there's still a little bit in this.
IQ said I thought you use all three to make decision. 2DI up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I use all three, but the one that's weird right now, the most weird is ZF, right? You can see it more strongly over here. Okay, down, big move up. Okay, in
Digital
ZN, what
Shot
happened?
said to whom are you speaking?
It's just kind of moving up. It didn't really have quite the same sell. There wasn't quite the same sell volume in ZN. So ZF is the one that's showing aberrations. That's why I'm more paying attention to that one more.
IQ said Seth LOL and all.
So yeah, so see, it was the right decision to hold that one because there's still people to stop out on the upside, and the action that moved against us looked like
Digital Shot said AHH.
When I'm 3 in the money, I will scratch. Yeah, that makes sense. See, I will keep it until my hypothesis is invalidated, essentially. Because if I was always trying to keep it that, you know, I don't want to take break even or -1, I would get out way too often. I would take way too many trades that way, so that doesn't work very well for me.
IQ said we at 16, ZB which way now?
Yeah. I think ZB could easily go up and make a new high. Okay, so that tick in the E-mini, they did not like. Notice though the
Digital
absorption.
Shot said could push north, at least I am not going to short this.
See the absorption in ZF?
IQ said ZB should go 24.
I mean, that's a lot of volume right there. Okay, so we should point out we did see a little bit of a cumulative delta drop in all three. It was slight, but it was definitely there. Particularly in ZF here at the VWAP, but it's still holding. Okay. Now they're pushing up. Curious. 032 is the key level though, remember? Right here. Pivot. Bitcoin Tom DeLay sequential is a red 9, likely to reverse up. Yeah, I think it's so funny that all of the short-term indicators in Bitcoin are like this is a bear move has already exhausted itself. Okay, so they took it again. All right, that was a fairly significant tick down. Which way is ES going to take this?
Digital Shot said almost bought 120.
I personally I want out at break even and just kind of want to see this do its thing, since it seems like the
Digital
edge.
Shot said looked really good until they just sold it.
Yeah.
LOL.
The edge that I had doesn't appear to be holding anymore. Okay, well the E-mini looks like maybe they're gonna push down. Maybe? No? Okay. Some decent collisions. I think that the E-mini will break down here. Come on. Okay. Good uptick in ZF. I really need to trim my facial hair. I'm getting to the point where I can't help but touch it. And I really shouldn't be, but I can't help it. Okay, so he's short again at 12. Really want to see a good bid put here at 02 halves again. Okay, there was a little bit better there in ZF. Sorry. You know what? I'm having a hard time keeping, listing out instruments correctly. The E-mini is right at the VWAP. On both a regular session and extended session basis, they're the same now. And those down ticks do appear to move us up a little bit. Okay, that one not so much. Yeah. Beach bum scratched it again, huh? See, that's where I'm saying, like, man, the commissions kill. I'm already here today. Third trade. I don't want to take more than like 4 trades in a day. Shoot. When they dump a big 3K on it. Here they're absorbing again in ZF. So at this point, it looks like there are pretty big traders on both sides of this. And they are just stuck.
Alligator said looks okay while above WAP, but ES in control IMO. Digital Shot said there was more selling in this volume than buying.
Only one of spot into 027 in ZF. Okay, so there's another good tick up. Now notice they put 3,000 on there. Only 1130 traded.
Alligator said same levels for ZF than at start. ZB needs to make new highs for more. Digital Shot said long 120.
Someone's messing with us here. I don't know which way it's gonna go, but this is a shark setting something up. And he may be trying to scare people into filling him long. Or he may be just literally just somebody really big trying to defend 120 and isn't as strong as they appear to be, maybe. Yep, and here comes CB. They want to take it. Okay. So I guess my read there was correct. And now the E-mini is tumbling. So I said 2770, didn't I? Okay. So that's right where they're at. And of course, profit taking. Ooh, they're pushing it. Okay, they want more. All right, so now next one would be 65, 62. Wow, so much volume here.
Digital Shot said +3.
Was a good read.
Digital Shot said maybe a bit too early out.
So there's Beach Bums 13.5. That's where you wanted to short it, right? A couple of people saying that they went long there. Okay, so this right here.
IQ said 2 more to go ZB money mouth face.
Key here is so ZF did pivot, did make a higher pivot now. And we see a large volume node with a big trade going both ways. So that might be a continuation. That said, we definitely have to move this up. Okay. So that was what, +2? Yes. Oh yeah, some Zhang says sometimes it's hard to find an edge on ZB. I personally found it very difficult on ZB because any time that I had a position that was good, they would come and stop me out, and it was very often that I was still right, but you know, you just picked the wrong spot or whatever. And I think that that's been a major factor behind why I've been more successful in ZN. This is just because, you know, like we had that move. I got long at 12, right? And we had that move. You know, I had it in favor, and then it went against me, and then I had it in favor, and it went against me. But it only went against me like 2 ticks, and I was able to hold on, and it turned out for me. You know, so ZN is much more friendly, I think. Now that said, ZF is still selling here.
Digital Shot said.
What's he got a picture of here? Yeah. Pointing out the higher pivot. Okay. Okay.
Alligator said nothing serious so far, agree W flattening.
Okay.
Digital Shot said cheers together. Have some good trades.
You done
Light
digital?
skin tone victory or peace sign.
Oh, didn't we say that like last time that somebody did a peace sign and we're like, what was it talking about? But apparently there is a light skin toned peace sign and a dark skin toned peace sign. What the heck? What the heck? I think I want that. So IHP says he's out at 13.5. Really afraid this is going to turn into a range day. Well, it already is a range day. I mean, we could go all the way up to 16. We could extend the range a little bit and it'd still be a range day, you know? I have to agree with you, though, that you got to be cautious and take profits quickly because it's not really like really going, you know? So if we get a pop, when we got that first pop, we should have taken it. And there's been a couple of pops that we could have taken +2 on and we didn't. Hmm. Why did my DOM reset there? So notice it's resetting every time it ticks down now? What the heck? Pete, that's weird. You maybe should fix that.
Alligator said ES looks oversold.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting an iceberg here. Okay. Could potentially take it long here again and take just another tick out of the range because it's been pivoting back and forth here. No, now it's going off her. Yeah. Not high enough probability nor risk reward. Unless we're going to take it for one tick. I think now that that 130 is offer, I think that our getting one tick off of it isn't as, doesn't look as good. Okay, they took 125. Feeling a little sleepy. Okay. They put a good bid back on it. And that 130 looks weak. There's a lot of orders sitting up there at 16 in the ZN in there. Now 4K there. Okay. Big size on both sides here. Casually explained men's fashion. I'll have to watch that later. Hello.
I'm taking the kids to school and I'm meeting Dara for breakfast.
Oh, yes. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. What?
Okay, well, now they've failed 12 half as well. The UK booted 23 Russian diplomats. BTC kind of bouncing up now. Yeah. Yeah, let's pull that back up. See, so they're going to come back up to the VWAP at like 8,800, 8,900 probably. And then we see what happens. And this is giving me a bull signal, huh? I don't know. Overall, I'd have to say it's been pretty negative in E-mini. And here in Treasuries, who knows? 3 tick range here for how long now? Which I mean is okay. 3 tick range is good. You can make money off of a three tick range, right? You buy 130 and sell 13 half. Although the 13 half sites hasn't been getting filled for quite some time. And they keep putting a big offer on 13. I don't know. Seems to me like somebody really big does not want it to move up. And I think that the market moved against them a little bit there, and they are holding on. I mean, this is a spot. When you look at the volume from yesterday, there's a step in the profile here at 13. I think that's what Beach Bum has been talking about, right? There's this step in the profile, and we're saying based on all of the news, it was right to have a move up, but that's as far as it goes. I think that's what they're telling us. It may yet break out of this, but it's gonna, when it does, it's gonna be awfully quick, I think. Daylight savings time sucks, guys. Oh my. What's this? So I'm just noticing that on that tick up, that the level 2 flickering is different. I don't really know how to explain it to you more than that. It seems like ZF might be ready to pop again. If we see any pulling here. Yep. Okay. That firmed up real fast. So I think with that push, now that we are past the 13.5, we could be talking about high of the day. We could be talking about yesterday's high, which was at 17. You notice there's nothing sitting at 17. Still fighting the move up. Why? Why you gotta be like this? Okay, well, They just sold 2K and they just put they bought 1K and put 2 more on. Now there's lots of robots in here too, because like these 5Ks sitting here. Man. Seems to me like the high frequency traders are having a ball today. I think there's still some more to go in ZF. I want to see that cumulative delta make a new high still.
Alligator said maybe because it was a spike, seems size at every full tick above.
Yep. Well, the sharks have made kills, have killed shorts twice now. Is really how I look at it. Look at that bit step up. Whoa. That was a flip. Is Tucker here? That is one that I think Tucker would want to look at. So they pulled 2,000 and they put 2,000 on the bid. They flipped. Whoa. Okay, I'm not touching it. Wow, serious? Somebody absorbed 6K contracts and then we just tick down. snap.
Alligator said true will be hard to go higher, only a good down day in ES could push us above IMO.
Unbelievable. And pulling. Out -2. Reset that. -1 on the day. We should have just gotten out when we saw that iceberg. I don't know. I thought that was going to be a good sign that we could go higher. And it failed. Yeah, there's a lot of liquidity today. Unusually high liquidity today for something that is not moving. I mean, I think that they've basically decided that today is a range day and all of the robots are on. And that's why there's all this liquidity everywhere. Yeah, and some other people pointing out that this looks like a good buy in the E-mini at the moment. I have to say the cumulative delta still looks weak.
Alligator said why, but note that so far it's only a pullback to pivot in ZF, and supports in Z and ZB. Seems to me there's no follow through downside, so a chance to sink them and go and test higher, 125.
Yeah. Breaking Fox News reporting attorneys are filing for voting machines to be compounded and gathered for inspection due to numerous reports of miscalibration causing voters to vote for Lamb instead of Saccone. Whoa, okay, so they are already throwing out lawsuits. They are likely to file a lawsuit based off of three concerns: confusion over the Pennsylvania Secretary of State's new website, allegations that Republican attorneys were kicked out of rooms where absentee ballots were counted, and that Allegheny County voting machines were miscalibrated. Oh yes, today is the school walkout, huh? Okay. Lots of people looking to get filled at 12.5.
Alligator said, well, now they are serious about it, smiling face with open mouth. Alligator said, why?
Yeah. And boom, somebody took it there. That was very clearly a trader initiating a trade at 13 because it hit the edge and they're leaning on that big, all those people looking to get filled at 12 halves. So I think the 145 is, oh no, wait, 145 is right. So it's going to come one tick short of the next one and it's just going to probably consolidate. There could be a breakout to the upside, but that's not nearly as high of a probability. So I'm going to take the 14 half. Ugh, this level 2 nonsense is so annoying. Good uptick. 3K. I may pull. And no. There's enough hesitancy in fighting here that there is a chance that they're going to pivot. So we're going to go stick with the trade and get out at 14 half. Something like amazing happens here. Okay. Curious. Well, let's remember what happened last time. 7K traded and then they just gave it everything up. Okay. It says we got filled there. I think that's probable. Would prefer to see a little bit more. Okay. Definitely filled now. So if we had not gotten out, we could maybe be sitting here looking, maybe 14 is not huge. I think it'll probably go back down. You can definitely see that they're leaning here at 15. So we took the safe route, but there's apparently other traders that are looking to see if it's going to go. Yes, I can see what you're doing. We can all see it. Well, we could have done much better than we did. There was 2 ticks in that one. There was 2 ticks in that one. Really, this is the only one, and even this one we could have broken even. So we actually might have been able to get 6 to 8 ticks today if we had played it a little bit better. But we're still profitable. Good. Okay, so it looks like we did. Unless we want to wait for the bubble up. I think that was a good spot to get out. So sick of the spam, I don't know what to do about it. Dan, are you still holding Ethereum? Yes, I still have it. I'll show you. And I'll sort it by highest holdings. So that's what I've got. That garlic coin position is steadily rising. I mined all of it. Where are we at now? 306. I'm making an even number. Someday, guys. When garlic coin
Alligator said okay, finally ES is helpful today.
is worth $100. Think about it, right? It's worth 10 cents right now. Okay, so that's what, 1, 2 times 3. So that's like $20,000. But we want a lot more. I want like 10,000 garlic coins. Yep. I'm only a third of the way to 1,000. So we got a ways to go. Is that 0.16? Yep, 0.16 of Ethereum. Basically about $100 USD in Ethereum. So I think I've actually, if we switch this to all time. Oh, okay. So when you look at it all time, considering that I mined some and I bought some, I actually haven't made that much on it yet. Actually, when you look at most things, the only thing that I really made a ton of money on was the Sia coin. And that was where like most of my Bitcoin cash went, and then I lost some of that. So yeah, not so good. Also, this NIM has been doing really good. So we bought it like over here on this down day. Yeah, pretty happy with NIM so far. Well, Bitcoin is struggling to get back to the VWAP. Notice the significant difference in level 2 once we get above the high of the day.
IQ said what platform you using, Seth?
This is called Delta. It's actually a phone application. Where it started as a phone application, and you can sync it with your phone. That's why I like it. Anyways, that doesn't show me everything. I actually have about $250 in cash sitting on the exchange right now. Just kind of sitting here seeing if maybe it goes lower. But
IQ said thanks.
I think that the website is getdelta.io or something like that. Well, there's...
IQ said and one more tick to go ZB.
Yeah.
IQ said oops, there it is, LOL.
Okay, I didn't get filled there. So we're looking for a bunch of absorption here. Oh man, maybe they're just gonna go. I think the E-mini is starting to look really weak. Okay, so there was some pulling. There was 8K there at one point, and now it's almost 6. Some pulling, and look at the bid, just crazy bid there. Let's cancel this order. Yeah. He's gonna push it. That's a crazy strong bid there. And nobody fell through yet. In fact, the offer has gotten a little bit stronger. See that? You're just cranking that knob there, like, just go.
Alligator said true, but gun stops there.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't see some stops. If we don't see stops, I don't know. So okay, so there's the fill. Oh yeah. Yeah. And there's the stops. So let me explain from my view what just happened there. We stepped up to 115 half 16. Then there was 4K bid. But nobody was buying into 16. And eventually somebody hit the 15 half and filled it, which was what we were looking for. We're looking for about 3,000 to 5,000 contracts filled at 15 half. And literally as soon as they got filled, it ticked back up with 5K being bid. And then they immediately hit 16 and took it through, and stops started hitting. So I think whoever's been selling here since literally like 13 halves has got to be regretting their decisions, because whoever it was that just did that level break, that was, I mean, normally you'll get traders that will do the level break for sure, but that was some guy at some large institution. I mean, the way that he did it and everything, this was a guy that he has size and he knows he's bigger than everybody else. is kind of how I looked at that one, because they pulled it with so much confidence. As soon as they got filled, it just immediately went. See that? Okay, so now we've got a situation, because now we're breaking highs. We're getting highs, and we're also getting positive after she goes signals, is what that is. That's 6K if that 17 can hold. They're gonna fight.
Alligator said pullback IMO, 170 nice for taking profit.
I'm already a little late on it, I think. Okay, what's that put us at? Was that 4 ticks? No, it was 3 ticks.
Alligator said agree.
Yep, he agrees. I was just saying, since CF hasn't broken its high, there's probably more left in this move. What are you guys saying right here? I am struggling if I should sell it or not right now. I am willing to hold it until 500, but I'm afraid it will go lower, and I do not want to hold through this downfall. I know how you feel, Dan. I wish. The thing is when we were up there, and I came in and my indicator said 90, and I was like, I should be selling. And by the time I had gotten myself to the point where I was like, okay, I could sell here and I know what I need to do and everything, I had already missed the train, you know? And then
Alligator said buying 170 like crazy.
I'm just gonna watch. Holy crap.
Alligator said missed.
That was either news or somebody just puked.
Alligator said could be. IQ said all 3 shooting up.
Yeah. Well, I said that it could keep going, so I should have stayed in it. That would have been 4 more ticks. Can't win them all. Pretty good trade, though, wasn't it? Oh, man. I mean, we took some trades at 12, but it was so slow. Look at this, because we were almost all buys. And the lowest that we ever bought was 10 half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Guys, I messed up. I should have just kept the 110. When we bought it at 110.
IQ said longs making the ticks today. Enjoy.
Or 11. Okay, that's where we bought it at 11. Should have kept it. Screwed up. Oh, it was actually 105. So we never would have had a tick against us. Could have held it. There's no way that we would have known that it would have developed into a trend day. I mean, that's the thing. This was what we just saw here. This is something that I think is very, very rare. Is when a range day turns into a trend day. Pretty tremendous. Wow. Well, after that, I think you have to be taking a profit. Yeah. Look, they want another leg. No, it's 9:25. So I'm gonna stop before I get like super FOMO. I did just show you, I think, what we saw. I'm not going too much into every tiny little trade. We actually traded pretty good. We had some okay spots and everything, and considering how choppy it was and everything, that was some pretty good trading. But we made a big mistake getting out at 17, and we probably could have just held this first one the whole time. But look, all of my trades were buys. So this action right here did not fool me. Pretty cool read. Mixed feelings at the moment. But hey, we made 5 ticks, so that's still not bad. All right, I will see you guys. It's Wednesday, right? I will see you guys tomorrow. I think that tomorrow we could be another pretty good day if it keeps doing stuff like this. So we'll see. Oh, and I guess we have to say this I think has larger implications here. Let's just pull this over here. I mean, look at that. That was significant. See that? That is the makings of a reversal, my friends. So we are now perhaps for one of the first times where I would prefer to buy than short. I've been selling things for so long, and we do better when we buy. So yeah, I'm just blabbing now. I'll catch you guys later.